What? Did you break it?
Yeah, it's snapped.
You broke that?
It's got to just nail it in there.
What are you doing?
I got no words.
Oh, yeah. I'll leave you to it. All right. So it's Friday. Sun is shining. Chickens are loving it. And the best thing is we've got a few hours of uninterrupted time. So, as promised yesterday, we're gonna wire up the transfer. I don't know if I'm too close or not while we're traveling here. We're gonna wire up the transfer switch and hopefully nothing bad happens. But, you know, there's a few caveats along the way. One of which being, you know, I got an industrial grade data network over here and I can have no downtime. So here's how we're going to solve that. We have here the 30 amp twist lock and another one. We're going to connect the UPSs into some temporary power. So you may be questioning why we have a 30 amp twist lock connected to a 15 amp power thingy, pluggy. That's just the way it is, you know? Sometimes you can't afford to run 30 amp circuits everywhere and you just gotta plug into a 11510 or a 15 amp or whatever. But, you know, not a problem, because as we can see here, the UPSs are saying that they're hardly doing anything at all. So, you know, let's see exactly what they're doing. Let's open up Home Assistant. There we go. Let me, sorry if I'm getting carried away with the movement here, but whoa, what the hell? Shake the app to open debug. I've never seen that before. I don't know what the hell it is, and quite frankly, that's annoying. So let me make sure that I'm trying to get this in a spot where there's no glare. I'm assuming there's no glare. All right, so UPS 1 is only drawing 8 amps. UPS 2 is only drawing 6 amps. So right now, that's kind of normal. Yeah, 3 is up in the chicken coop, and oh, look at that. The runtime went up by 4 minutes because the temperature is warmer. Go figure. Yeah, that one needs its batteries replaced. That's the one that we're going to be working on when we get to it. Hopefully you can see this. Yeah, no, I got to get that iPad set up. UPS 4 is down in the roadside stand. That's where we sell the chicken, eggs, and the produce. That is a 1500 UPS. That just plugs into the wall like normal. As you can see, it's... well, you can't really tell that from looking at this. Well, yes, you can. Because right there it says 27 volts on the battery. So that's got a 24 volt battery in it, not a 48 volt like these bigger guys. Sproutville is down at Site B. Yeah. So, we're not pulling a crazy amount of amperage. And as I alluded to in another video, we do have 30 amp circuits going to these UPSs because that's what they require. Trying not to grab this camera by the base. It's probably making that terrible cracking sound. Apologize. So yeah, we got 10 gauge wire, 10 gauge neutrals and everything, 10 gauge ground going up our conduit to the 2 outlets for the UPSs. Because, you know, when they're fully loaded, I mean, these are 3K rated. When they get rocking and rolling, you can fill up that circuit. So, but right now, for the purposes of our migration, these little Band-Aid cables or cheater cables are going to work just fine. I mean, they're properly run through the mud and the water, especially that green one over there. Yeah. So I'm sure there's no leakage at all, hopefully. Knock on wood. Anyway, so we got this little generator here with the 30 amp RV plug, which is converting that into a regular 110, or well, it's 110 normally, but 15 amp. I could have plugged in on the 15 amp side, but we have an actual, well, that's a 20 amp breaker. Apparently it says right there 20 amps. Oh yeah, it does have the, so if you look close, you'll see the horizontal line. That is a 20 amp rated breaker. Whatever. The other cool thing about this is I have an inverter stick welder that loves to pop 20 amp breakers. So if I have to take that welder out in the field, I can use this adapter with that stick welder. It's a little hand portable, like a little suitcase type thing. And hopefully it don't blow up or, pop the breaker. This generator I got on Marketplace. I don't buy anything new. Hardly. It is a Wen, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's quite the handy little unit. It's dual fuel, takes gasoline and propane, but the propane leaks internally, so that's probably why it was a store return. We'll probably try to fix that later. But basically, I got this generator to bring along with me in my truck, because when I'm on the road for work, and you're staying at hotels and stuff, you got nowhere to plug in your block heater for your diesel. So lots of cold starts and you can end up with dead battery. And that actually happened to me at one point. So I got this, and I got one of those Shoemaker 200 amp battery boosters, the old style with the knob, not that digital bullshit that you request it to do something. It's like, oh, I don't know, nah, I'm not feeling like it, you've got a 5-minute delay before you can take 200 amps again. No, this was the old school where you just turn the knob and it goes full send. So that's kind of, fits my personality and also what I require for operational stuff. You know what I mean. So anyways, that's how we're going to power these UPSs while we're doing the cutover. We got an extension cable running into the pole barn. We got this generator because honestly, I don't have another extension cable, and this is more fun. So here we are at the sub panel. Now on the other side of this steel wall here of the generator shed, the other side is the transfer switch. So it's over there. This is that same conduit we were looking at yesterday from a different angle. This here, this is connected into the transfer switch already. So this is landed already on the Allen Bradley distribution block and the ground lug. The plan here is to pull out the neutral and the hots and the ground, pull it through the wall, put it up into the transfer switch, and then land it where it needs to go, and then do this. However, not in that order. It's kind of my preference to work away from the source of death and then move toward the source of death. So, in other words, I usually start at the outlet where the end device is and work my way back toward the sub panel. That way, I'm not connecting anything in the sub panel or in the main panel or anything that could get accidentally turned on, or the 3-letter agency sends in black ops and they turn it on so that it looks like I just had an accident or something like that. But it's just it's not really superstition. I just think it's a good practice. Because that way there's no chance that somebody accidentally turns a breaker on or flips a switch, or a squirrel jumps on the thing and the breaker just happens to connect to the bus and go live, whatever. I like to work outward, inward. That's just how I do it. So we're actually going to terminate these cables first, then we'll land the cables in the transfer switch where the agitated pixies come from. Then we'll go back to the main panel and actually put the breaker back on, because I don't just flip breakers, I pull them off. Like I said, we try to make it as bomb-proof as possible. So that's our strategy here, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time. Couple other updates. I did order the 200-foot extension cable that's going to be our quote-unquote kill bus. or kill line for our big appliances, and I'm going to sneak that through here and up through, and then in this big conduit, this 1.5 inch job here, into this panel, this automation panel where there's some DIN rails and stuff. That way the kill bus is available in this panel for whatever reason. And it's going to go up in there and then eventually into the conduit that goes up to the chicken coop. So it's all high voltage, so it shouldn't be an issue. You know, higher than like 60 volts or whatever they consider low voltage to be. If it is an issue, I'm not really gonna lose sleep over it because you know, I tried to consult the NEC gods, and they weren't available for comment. And as it just happens to be, I am the supreme authority having jurisdiction on this here postage stamp of land in the middle of what is it? No, it's not California. It's Ameristan. I don't know, whatever. You know, if you know, you know. You get me? So we're not going to worry about a extension cord going through there. You know what? If they send Metro SWAT, so be it. Anywho, let's go. Let's get on with this. So we need to let this thing warm up. So there's choke. Yeah, it's ready to go. All right, now we're going to de-energize. All right, so here we are. Just relax. All right, this I took the cover off today for this exercise that we're doing here. All right, so because we're all about safety and everything. Was that my thingy nail? Whew, I don't know. Oh God. All right, that's the 100 amp breaker going to the sub panel. Get off of there. There we go. Gotta be careful not to yank these wires for the iota watt. Okay. So at this point, let's see what we got here. Oh, I gotta edit that out. You're not supposed to see that. Oh, look at that. The iota watt shit the bed. So that's probably why the automation didn't work for. But you know what? There's an automation that's monitoring the UPSs themselves. So input voltage. Oh, you know what's going on here? So the nut integration in Home Assistant, the network UPS, whatever. The nut integration is a pain in the nut. There we go. So you see that delay in time that it took for the nut to actually SNMP query the UPS and to see that the UPS went to 0 volts input. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. And the one up in the chicken coop done died, so that's why we got to get those batteries replaced. And so did the one down at the roadside stand. That's gonna need another battery pack as well. All right, so you know, network's still up. Yeah, I see the switch there is still blinky. So let's motor on over there and get those UPSs plugged into some backup. Actually, before we do that, I'm gonna put my safety glasses on here. Oh, that requires some man strength right there. All right, let's go. All right, I'm gonna set you right there. Oh God. All right, so now listen to that generator. Listen to that generator when we make the connection. Yeah. Alright, so you know what I don't have? I don't have my electric meter because it's bad form and it's also dangerous to work on electricity and not check for energy before you do so. So we take this craptastic tractor supply meter. Oh, that happens to be dead because I left it on. Or yeah, we'll take this one. Alright, so I'm just going to set you in the camera here real quick while I get this thing set up. I meant set you on the tripod. Jeez. Tough crowd. Okay. AC. That should work. Alright, so now come with me. I don't really have a place to put you, so I'm going to set you on the air compressor. Oh, which, by the way, I got to shut off. Well, that's off anyway, so that never happened. Alright, so we're gonna get on one log, get on the other, and there's nothing happening. Alright, we're gonna turn them all off just because. So let's actually go to ground as well. Hopefully you can hear me. Kind of wanna. Never mind. I was thinking I might want to like try and poke these things into the UPS, but I think we're good to go. All right, let's do it. Let's go around the corner here, get our specialty tools. Not that one. Where's the, there it is. So you hang tight there. No pixies, so I guess that's a good sign. Because remember, this is bonded to ground in the panel. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, that should be more than enough length. So my measurement, worked out. All right, that's just gonna hang tight. If you had wire nuts or something to put over the end of these just to be safer, that's a good practice. But just me, myself, and I here, so we ain't gonna worry about it much. Actually, we need our tools. So we need this stuff, oxidation guard. Ox guard, it keeps the aluminum from corroding. I believe it's a galvanic process. There we go. Plumber thingy. Don't tell no one. Alright, I'm going to try and close. Actually, I need the door open for light. And you know what? I'm going to bring the tripod in here. Alright, so let's get you plugged into the battery. There we go. Okay. Now for the electrical veterans here, this may seem like heresy, and I sort of agree with you, but it's my heresy. And the reason being is when you have these, let's see if I can strip one of these real quick to show you. This is sort of the way you're supposed to do it, but I honestly don't like doing it that way. So each one of these conductors in here, I mean it's technically one conductor, so each strand of the cable carries electricity along the outside of the strand. So if you score into it like that and make a mark, that's actually an interruption in the flow of current. And it can build heat, and depending on how much current you're flowing, it can lead to unintended consequences, like the exothermic type. In other words, fire. So it's frowned upon to strip cable with any type of thing that could mar the surface of the cable or of the metal conductor itself. So I like to do a clean cut because I like to have everything kind of butt up cleanly. So I use this, but you're not supposed to. If you did happen to find yourself using one of these, the way I do it is you just gently increase your depth of cut to the point where you can start to feel the wheel bouncing off of these ridges of the individual strands. Then you back off and then just, rip the thing off with your pliers. That's just the way I like to do it. So, kind of this is how it's happening, but you probably shouldn't follow my example. So right now, just that extra turn there, I am kind of feeling it start to run on top of the ridges. So we're going to back off and then just kind of gently manipulate it up the rest of the way off. Oh, actually, there's another step here. So, I don't know if you saw that or not. Here, let me undo that. I laid my pliers across the terminals on that battery. Pretty sure the battery's dead, though. There we go. So you can see that we're peeling off the insulation, tearing the insulation because we didn't actually fully cut through it. And we end up with a nice, clean thingy. Cut, stripping. Good strip, yeah. Everybody likes a good strip. Strip steak, that is. Alright. Get that nice and insulated or gooped up or whatever. Get this crap out of the way. That's all the inch pounds. All of them. The other thing you could maybe do to make your life easier just remember where they go. Okay. That opens up a little bit more space in there. So I like to start with the ground, then go to the neutral, because technically neutral is a ground as well, then do the voltage last. Okay, we're there. So I'm just carefully peeling back that edge up to where we made our cut. And then once I've got enough material in the jaw of the plier, we just give it a roll. This gray stuff keeps the aluminum from corroding, because corrosion is not a conductor, and it increases inefficiency and drag on the electrons as they move around in the wires. It's one way to think of it. Okay. Now we just need to land our two hots. And we're ready to move the other side of the wall. I like to leave some slack inside of pull boxes and junction boxes and LBs and so on and whatnot, just to allow for thermal expansion of things. Plus, if the well, it wouldn't be the fiber seeking backhoe, but if the electrical conduit seeking backhoe ever came through and you know, you grabbed onto something by accident, there's enough slack in the system where hopefully you're not ripping things apart before you realize you made a boo-boo and back off. I don't know. Just good strategy, I think. The other thing is you can just be really careful when you're digging and follow good digging practices, like knowing where things are or hand digging. Oh, I'm gonna get so rich off of all this aluminum scrap. had a little bend in that, so I didn't want it to cut crooked. Okay. So we got our two hots, our neutral, which is marked with the white line, and then our green ground. So we should be good here. This wire nutted mistake, well, it's not really a mistake. It's a issue to be resolved. That's the air compressor. That's the 10 gauge wire that goes up to that. We talked about that before. That'll get upgraded to probably 8 gauge, I think, for 40 amp. This one that came over, I think. Well, I don't know. These duplex breakers with this hook are kind of a pain in the butt. There we go. Whew. While we're here, good idea to double check all these other cable terminations and make sure that they didn't get loose while we were, you know, doing our work. Oh, like that one. Huh. Wonder what the deal is with that. That's for the lights. a little concerning that some of these breakers are loose. None of them are at the point where they're coming out, where the wires are going to come out, but they're a little looser than I like. My wire's tight. Yeah. If I had to venture a guess, it might have something to do with that monster diesel engine right there when it runs and creates vibration. We're going to have to look into that. Alright, so we're all complete here. Let's grab our stuff and move on to the other side of the wall. Make sure I don't drop these pliers. Good generator. Forgot about how long the tripod is. Okay. Oh, it smells lovely out here. Sprout's doing a coop clean out, so. But lucky for us, the neighbor up the hill spread manure. Alright, so we have arrived at a critical junction. So there's something we got to make sure that we don't do here. And what we don't do is cut these to length. Because we bought this transfer switch used on Facebook. We have no idea if it works. So if we connect this all together, go back in the barn and put that 100 amp breaker back on there and throw the switch, and all hell breaks loose with this thing, we still need these cables to go back to their original home into the sub panel the way it was before this got involved. So we're going to temporarily just hook these on, but that's it. We're not going to be cutting them or anything, so it's going to look kind of janky, but there's a reason for that, and it's just temporary. Now the other problem is, technically before I cut these to length, I should have that stupid ass generator running, but I don't have the propane fitting, and I don't have, you know, a lot of the other stuff yet for a full up test. So I think what we're going to do is just land these in there, hope that everything is stable at that point. We should see the transfer switch say that utility is acceptable and good. And, you know, green lights equal good. So that's where we're going to kind of take a pause. I'm going to feed that up in there, connect it, and then we're going to re-energize this 100 amp subfeed and see what we get. We're going to put these up through the conduit, because if we have to walk away from this for, you know, a few hours or a day or two, I want to be able to shut the door. I don't want to be like this, you know, where everything's coming up in there. I mean, it doesn't appear that it's going to reach anyway, but it's like we got to be able to button this up properly if we have to like walk away and go to the store. And well, we do have to go to the store, but so that's kind of the methodology here. So let's say you happen to find yourself wiring up whatever, just be aware that have a backup plan in case you got to roll back. Don't cut yourself short. That's a saying I heard. For all I know, it could be a boomer saying, and I just committed heresy. Alright, so we gotta get some tools. First, let's get this in there. iPro. Not with this cable, but with a different type of cable. I had an accident a couple months ago. We're gonna make a video about that because I still have that spool of cable, and we need to deal with that cable. We need to tell that cable what we think of it and where that cable came from. In other words, the origin location. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know that I am not really a fan of that location in certain circumstances for certain things. Oh, I haven't unscrewed those yet. Interesting. Get in there. Now the order that I'm like running these through here, there's no method or madness behind it other than I'm just kind of picking what is easiest to get to as it's coming out of the conduit so that I don't have to like, you know, wrestle spaghetti. Pay no attention to the fill percentage here. You know why. No. No, no. You go here. I almost made a boo-boo. went back to that. That's not. They're definitely not tight enough. So I'm trying to bend far away from the end of that, because the more you bend, the more movement you get in the individual strands of the conductor, and I don't want to separate this and fatigue it too much. Because again, remember, if we have to go back to the sub panel in an emergency here, because none of this shit works, yeah, I want to just reuse everything as it is. So I'm trying to like get these to land so that the set screw and the terminal goes in the same spot, so that I'm not like, you know, mashing the cable into oblivion to the point where we have to hack it off and then, you know, rebear it. There is a little bit of slack that we could do that, you know, because remember, I like to leave slack and everything, but, you know, 9 times out of 10 when people have electrical done, it's just done and that's it. They don't come back and revisit it. Most people. Yeah, I know I completely went against what I said earlier about doing the ground first. When we do this the final time, I'll do it right. Yeah, so that would not have reached into that corner like I thought. Screwdriver. Popped out a little bit, so just gotta tighten her up. Okay. Alright, so let's get all this extra metal, this conductive material, out of there so that we're nice and clean when we go live. Just in case there was any metal shavings from when we were doing our drilling. Okay. So we have our neutrals. These are the hots that are going to the sub panel. These are the supply hots from the pole barn, from the 200 amp main panel. Our ground. Everything is bonded nicey nice. So the only thing that is being fed out of this right now is the sub panel. Chicken coop is right here. It's not part of the system yet. So at this point, we are ready to re-energize this subfeed, and hopefully we don't have any problems. So come with me so that you can watch me plug the breaker back on the main panel, and that if there are problems, I'll just edit them out. Yeah, because I spend so much time editing as it is. All right. So, safety first. Oh, we're gonna put our glasses back on. Okay. And then we're gonna take. Actually, I'm gonna lay you down right here because I need both hands because this is kind of unwieldy. Because you got to get both these neutral clips onto the neutral bar at the same time, in parallel. Okay. Okay. All right. Get that iota watt cable out of the way. All right. So, well, there's our power failure notification. All right. Moment of truth here. Ready? Okay. I don't see no smoke. No magic smoke came out. No angry pixies. No nothing. All right. I think I heard a click too from way over there. All right. What do we got? What do we got? This is where we need the user manual because I'm pretty sure those are supposed to be green. I don't know. And that's probably blinking because we don't have the generator hooked up and it sees that. It's probably seeing an absence of the battery power from the generator. So, alright, well, I mean, nothing blew up, so that's a good sign, right? Let's have a look-see here. Oh, well, I know why the lights aren't coming on. Safety first. Boop, 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 boop. Uh-oh. Anyway, yeah, they're plugged on there nicey nice. That's oh, dumbass. Hit the wrong switch. Alright, there we go. We got the power. Woohoo! Alright, so let me put you on my mouth here. Yeah, the ground is on the very tippy top. Get in there! Ha! There we go. Are we happy? Yes. Oh, that one's still angry. Or is it? Which one's angry here? I don't know. So I got mud on the cable. And when I grabbed onto it was at the exact moment that I freaking... Oh, I know why they're angry. Because we got to do this. Haha! Happiness! Alright, cool. So yeah, I had mud on that cable and I grabbed onto that mud at like the exact moment that like I was, you know, breaking the connection between the electricity and the UPS, you know, by undoing the connector. And it's like that feeling of wet. It kind of freaked me out. Anyway, I didn't die, so that's a plus. Those are in there good. Okay. Yep. So now what we got to do is really give this thing the business. We're going to turn that thing on. Make sure that doesn't get sucked into it. Pull string. Good enough. Yeah. Yep. Sometimes I like to lay tools here sometimes, so I just got to do a visual check and make sure that like I'm not going to have shrapnel flying around when something gets caught in the belt and spools up. All right, so I don't know if the air compressor is actually going to come down on or come on its own or not. So stand by for auditory death. Not yet. Actually, you know what? I need these. No magic smoke yet. So we're doing about 65 amps right now. Is that right? Holy shit. Well, yeah, because the UPSs are recharging. The air compressor is running. So we're pulling about 7K. And, wow, 64 amps. Okay. But that's 64 amps at 240, so that's like 30 something on 120, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I'm all kinds of excited here, so my brain is a little sparky at the moment. Don't expect me to do any trigonometry. So this is the iota watt that's on the main panel in the barn, and alright, so I just want to see how fast this takes to update. Come on. Actually, you know, it's been a few seconds since these numbers updated. Is there like an issue here? Yeah, stupid web page hung. I was hoping to see the drop in wattage live, but oh well. So that took about 5K. So the if I sound loud, it's because I can't hear myself. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, so the air compressor takes about 5K when it's running. So that's half of what this little guy puts out. So, you know, we want to take care of this little thing. We don't want to hurt it. So that's why we got to have that kill line to disconnect the air compressor and the hot water heater up in the chicken coop. Okay, so where do we stand currently? So we are, actually let me put you back in here. Scratchy, scratchy. Yeah, someday I'll make it big on YouTube and have the mega bucks to afford proper equipment. So I'm gonna, you know, do my glamour shot over here next to this thing, you know, with the knowledge that now it can kill me, so I can't get too handsy and friendly with it. So far, so good. Nothing crazy happened. Like the logic board didn't go and you know, go bonkers, and you know, this thing starts going back and forth like a machine gun. I have seen that happen, by the way, with a Generac. Sprout's up there doing her thing. So I gotta get the cover made for that, because now it can kill us. I distinctly remember yesterday describing how we were going to have an extra neutral position available for like another line, and somehow that didn't work out. So I'm about as puzzled as you are. We'll figure that out. So at this point now, I need to take the gas fitting off of that regulator on the engine, and hopefully it's a regular thread that I can run down to Lowe's, because Lowe's is close by. Lowe's is only like 5.5 minute drive. Well, I mean, for a normal person, it's about a 10-15 minute drive. So hopefully I can get some fittings and whatnot to hook that thing up. I don't have the... I have a rubber hose that goes on the tank. I don't have it right here handy, but I got a hose that I can hook up to a 20-pound cylinder, and we got some batteries hanging around, so hopefully we can maybe try and get that thing wire nutted together real quick, and maybe possibly do a test by sunset, maybe, or even later. You know, we got lights. And actually perform a function test of the actual ATS itself, and you know, transfer to alternate power, you know, backup power, and then back again. And then once we do a few function tests where we prove that the controller board is still happy and still wants to do its job, and that the mechanical components in there are good, once we're confident that that's all happy, then I will manage this spaghetti a little better and maybe cut it to length. Maybe. Because you know what? The way it is right now, I mean, it all fits in there, so I mean, if it fits, it ships, right? I mean, who cares? I mean, I care, but you know, that way, if there ever was a problem with this thing down the road, you know, I could just go back. I wouldn't have to go and do an emergency cable purchase of like $500 worth of mobile home feeder to, you know, fix this error. Although I suppose I could. Nah. Shit. That's the fire alarm. So that's Home Assistant, believe it or not. That's Home Assistant setting off this fire alarm. So up in the shed we have smoke detectors. I'm going to assume what's happening here. Actually, let's quiet that. So this alarm silence is basically, it runs a shell, god damn it. It runs a shell command in Home Assistant to kill the FFmpeg process. But the fire alarm is persistent, so until this clears and stays clear, and then the way I have the automation set up, they queue. So they queue so that, you know, it makes sure you know. So probably what happened here is the Sprout's up there doing her chores, and she's running the tractor. And this has happened once before, during the winter when we were loading in chicken feed with the big tractor, because we brought, you know, I bought like 1,000 pounds worth of feed from Bailey's up in Boonville. The tractor exhaust set off the smoke alarm inside the shed. So that's probably what happened. Number one, because she's not coming down here yelling and screaming, and then number two, I went around the corner here and looked real quick. And then let's just do a check here. We can verify. So this is our feed, or this is our camera inside. I just had a terrible thought. But the chicken coop's not hooked up, so there should not be any energy flowing up there through that line. Yeah, we're good. That had to have been the tractor exhaust. That being said, we're going to trust but verify. So I am going to walk my ass up there and check it out. I'm not going to just be like, yeah, no problem, and then go to Lowe's to get these fittings and then come back and everything's gone. Yeah, so she's got the tractor right up against the door there. She's in there shoveling the chicken byproduct. And there are actually 2 smoke detectors in the chicken coop itself. I mean, we've got one in the egg kitchen, we've got one in the garage part where we have our storage, and then there's actually 2 in the coop where the birds nest and hang out on the roosting bars. So that's probably what happened. But yeah, so that notification goes out to our cell phones. There's multicast audio that goes out speakers. I have a loudspeaker here. I have a couple more loudspeakers that I've yet to wire up. That's going to be a project later on. But Home Assistant has audio files, so I uploaded some custom MP3s that I made into the media folder of Home Assistant, and then there's some shell commands that run FFmpeg to run those files as multicast audio output. So it's an RTS, real-time streaming, RTSP stream, real-time streaming protocol. So that's literal live multicast audio that goes out. I have PoE speakers. The speakers themselves are Grand Stream IP speakers. I hate to say that because now you're all going to go out and buy them on eBay, and I won't be able to buy any more cheaply because that's where I get them. But they're awesome. They work good. The main function behind the choosing the Grand Stream speaker is it has multicast audio listening. So you can go in and define 10 multicast groups, so that the speaker itself has just constantly got its ear to the wire, and when it sees that multicast address fly by, it grabs onto it and puts it through the circuit board and out the speaker, and then you get audio. So I have quite a few automations that do sound and stuff. I mean, that's earlier when we pulled the power, that's what you were hearing. So then the other thing is, at Site B, we have a GRE tunnel that takes the multicast audio and ships it across a point-to-point VPN over a DM VPN cloud, and it outputs at Site B, and there are speakers there. So if we happen to be here or there, and things are happening, automations are doing whatever they do, and those audio announcements are taking place, we hear them down there, same as if we were here. And then the other cool thing is, when I am tootling around in my truck, I've got my DM VPN router. It's a Cisco ISR, oh, I forget the model. It's like an 800 series. It's the industrial grade Verizon router, but it's on my DM VPN cloud, and there is also a GRE tunnel to that, and then you can actually run FFmpeg standalone on a PC using command line. And there's some issues with timing, like you have to launch that app, or that what is it? It's the batch file on there. You got to launch that batch file at the right time in order to get the GRE tunnel to see it and come up and establish the link. But I can actually get those audio announcements in my truck when I'm flying down the road going here and there. All great video opportunities. Oh boy, we're gonna have so much fun. Yeah, so little unplanned segue there. I think that's it for right now. Part 3, there might be a part 3B. I don't know, we'll see. If I can get that fitting, the gas fitting tonight, and get this thing fired up, we'll have a part 3B for you. But Yeah, big milestone here today. So I'm glad everything worked out so far so good, and nobody died, nothing got destroyed, and I consider that a good, successful day. So that's it for now. I'm running out of things to say and ramble about, so I think we're good to go. All right, peace out. Catch you next time.